Hello, 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 hello. I hope you are resting and relaxing and enjoying this very fun in between time, right? Like, depending on what your situation is with the holidays, this is a really amazing time because for me, it really just reminds me that, like, and every day I wake up and like my entire life could change today. And I am totally, totally open to that happening. And just that's why the energy work is so important so that you can clear any resistance if that's something that you are wanting. I have been thinking a lot about this time of year and some of the things that have come up in the past for me emotionally, and then with my calendar and things like that. And it just really like opened up this inner dialogue between me and God, where it's like, yes, this is the a great time of miracles. This is a great time of reflection. And so I wanted to kind of give a couple tips and seeing if this serves you. So one of the things that I like to do is I pretty much put everything on my calendar. And when I say calendar, my Google Calendar, because it just seems to be the easiest for me. I'm not very tech savvy. If you've been in my world for a while, you know that. And I love that I get to color code things. And so I color things that are about me receiving healing or me receiving insight from a mentor in yellow. Blue is anything brain work related. Green is anything coaching, spirituality based clients. And then it continues on, so forth. And so at the end of every month, I actually kind of look at the colors and just kind of like, be grateful for that. But I recently went through every single day of 2024 and just highlighted some of the things that I learned. I met a lot of amazing new people this year, and I've also really deepened connections with people I've reached out to in the past. If you have found me through a summit, then yay, because those are one of my favorite things to do. And it really helped me open up to really believing that I can be in this realm with some of the most powerful coaches, healers, teachers of what I consider our time. And over this past year, I didn't do a summit this year. The last summit was the very, very end of 2023. I was able to spend more time with these people and like getting in their membership communities and receiving energy healing from them and, having them on my podcast. And, whenever, when you're energetically connected to someone, you're going to get pings for them. And so I'll have a dream about somebody that I adore. And I'll just be like, hey, like this came through, like, not sure if this is just going to be something laughable for you or if this is something that's actually really, really helpful. And so for me, when it comes to working with clients, everything is intuitively given, right? Like the type of people that are coming to me, whatever they say they're needing help for, like really removing that. It's really programs. And the more that I think about our physical vessel as the most beautiful, powerful, perfect vessel, but like almost like this it's a reflection, right? Like some people like the term hologram, but it's really what spirit actually is giving you to express yourself in this life. And you chose your body, you chose your eye color, you chose your parents, you chose your hair color. But one of the things that's really interesting is that a lot of my clients and colleagues, mentors, people that I love just spending time with because we're on the same wavelength, a lot of them have actually experienced like very drastic physical changes. And the first time that I heard that this type of overnight change was possible was about 2 years ago. And it was Christina Rice who said it, who I just like absolutely adore. And she said she and several of her friends and clients have literally woken up and overnight had all of their pain issues going away, their GI issues going away. And she and a few of her clients also experienced like losing 30 pounds overnight. And so this has always just kind of stuck with me because I think that that's just, weight is one of the biggest things that, some of us struggle with, but it's also such a physical, it's such a drastic way to show that miracles are possible because other people are going to see it. And if you're into, I'm putting this in quotes, fantasy, sci-fi, I mean, I believe that there's some remnants of truth to all of it. You'll notice how, you know, the fae or people who are, you know, hybrids of some sort between fae, human, or animals. Like I love the people who have like the little deer horns. I think that's so cute. They are scared of coming out because they know when someone realizes that this is something that's possible for them, like they can connect with Mother Earth, and Mother Earth can literally tell the trees around her to like capture all the bad guys that are chasing basically the light workers, right? The ones who are doing, you know, God's goodwill. Then it's like, holy shit, did that just happen? Right. And so I just wanted to share that because I guess that's what's coming through right now. I did a fun little exercise with some of my friends yesterday. And so I have these really cute cards. They're not oracle cards. They're get to know you cards. And so we were pulling them, and there was probably like 6 of us. And you know, these are people who know me like fairly well. But it really just like reminded me that some people are like their sense of thought patterns, behaviors, how open they are to miracles and expansion, how open they are to, you know, living in a complete reality of divine synchronicities and instantaneous healing. It was just really interesting. So we only did a few of these cards, and it was probably the 4th or 5th card that each person was like, I can't do anymore. My brain hurts. And I was like, whoa, like they're literally like mind blown right now. And these are just, this is one of my favorite ones. Although to me, $100,000 is actually not really that big. If we're here to change the world, we kind of need a lot more than that. And if you have questions or want to know my opinion on that, feel free to reply to this email and I will gladly share it with you, or I'll put it in like an Instagram reel or something. But we need money to fight the dark, right? Like there's a reason why, you or someone you know has ever been, you know, catfished to do, like Facebook ads or this like quick money making thing on YouTube. Like there's so much out there where they're just like trying to convince you that like if you spend this much money, then you can make this much money back, like kind of pyramid schemey to me. And so that's why in my mind, $100,000 is not that much, because I know how much it costs to outsmart the algorithms and really get in the right rooms with the right people to have the impact that you want. So I think that's important, but I'll go back to the card. If you were given $100,000 to spend today, what would you buy or do with it? This is a big question. However, I like to add it as, you know, if I gave you $1 billion today, what would you buy and do with it? Because this is where you get to really open up and expand your mind in such a different way. And that's why I love these cards. And as someone who, I mean, you guys know, like I love oracle cards, I love tarot, I love all of that stuff. But the shifts that I've seen in people when I pull out these cards is really profound. Like it's really, really cool. And when you start thinking about your ability to receive, you know, if you could receive $1 billion, what are you going to do with it? That's tied to your purpose. Whatever your answer is going to be something that's tied to your purpose. And if you think of money as a relationship, that is something that can be like the most beautiful partnership of your entire life. And that money is the most supportive entity in your life and is always there for you, always willing to help you out in any possible way. That's when things start to shift, right? You know, if you're like, if I had $1 billion, I would, you know, I would buy a bunch of land and I would have like all of these animals that I could take care of, and they would have the best, you know, medical care. They would have the best energetic support care. I would, you know, allow veterans to come and heal. I would allow children from third world countries to come and heal their PTSD, and I wouldn't charge them anything. That's what I want to do. There's a reason that that is the thing that you want to do. And you just being open to the expansion in your mind of like, why can't I make that happen? Why can't I have a bunch of land? and have all these animals that I can take care of and all of these traumatized people who know that if they're going to come to this place, like they are going to leave a different person. They are going to leave healed. And especially, I mean, my relationship with Jesus has changed so much over the years. And like, for sure this year, by me setting time in the morning and then right before bed with this very specific prayer where I'm actually connecting with Jesus and the Christ consciousness, completely life-changing. And like, Jesus didn't he didn't just wake up one day and say, I have to do this work. Like, he lived it his whole life and he didn't have a choice, right? Like, God was like, you have to do this. And like, you are the epitome of unconditional, perfect, divine love. And like, I need to go out and talk to people about it. And I need you to have a couple people that follow you around that can write down these brilliant, channeled, beautiful things that you're saying so that we can save this information and we can continue passing it on. And so this is really just such a beautiful time to really connect with, like, if you were living in unconditional love, if you were providing instantaneous healings for people like Jesus did, and it's completely possible. If it's possible for me and it's possible for a lot of people I know who, I mean, I literally charge $188 for an energy healing session that is literally curing so many things. Like, it's ridiculous. And those of you who have worked with me know that like I charge whatever spirit tells me, and like sometimes I change it and sometimes I don't. And the reason for that is because we really need to shift our relationship with money, and we really need to shift our relationship with how we're treating ourselves and especially our body, and understanding that the body is remembering everything, right? Like, if you've read The Body Keeps the Score, then you have some type of understanding what's really going on in your cells and in your DNA, and why energy healing is such an important part of that, and why, you know, I'm so grateful. This year I received a lot of free energy healing through just different offerings through people that I love that are healers, and just different containers that I was able to step into at like a really low fee. And the reason that I know that those were given to me and those opportunities came up is because, you know, the past year I really did need to, you know, spend more time like working on myself, trusting myself, and, you know, not having to invest, you know, half of my salary to personal development. Like that was 2022. That was a very different time. And now I'm just grateful because I get to share and open people's minds to different ways of looking at things where, you know, if you didn't have a perceived block, then what would you be doing, right? Like, what would be the first step if you wanted to have a bunch of land and you wanted to rescue a bunch of horses and help veterans and help traumatized children from third world countries? Like, what's a step that you could take, right? You know, even if it's as simple, like sometimes I'll just go for a drive and I'll just set this intention, like, I'm not using my GPS, and this is not an area I know very well. And I'll just set this intention that I'm going to meet horses, and I'm just going to really appreciate these lands. And then when I do see horses that I can sense like aren't in the best living environment, I'm like, I know in another timeline, like that horse is being cared for by me or somebody that I love and trust, or God's taking care of it for me, right? And so I'm just kind of inviting you to open your mind to, if there were no excuses, like, what's the first step that you would take? And that's one of the most powerful things that I've learned that I want you to understand too, is like, when you're living an intuitively led life and you are in full trust that like the reason you have this dream is because God wanted you to have it and like wanted you to say it out loud, like, this is my dream. And you're going to get one breadcrumb at a time at the perfect time. And things are going to unfold for you. Like, if there's something that you want, it's going to happen no matter what. You meeting your divine life partner is a guarantee. You being successful in whatever successful means to you is guaranteed. So now that you know that, what are you going to do about it today? And I'm definitely a do less physical stuff, like do more of the emotional, mental, heart focused work, right? Because that's the reason why some people's lives completely shift and change overnight. It's because their physical body was no longer holding codes of fear or scarcity or self-sabotage or unworthiness. And those are just old programs that honestly have nothing to do with you. They changed, right? Like I had so many DNA upgrades this year. I actually had a entirely new solar plexus put in because my solar plexus is actually really interesting. I guess it's rare, story of my life. Most people have a lot of faulty DNA programming, past life trauma, like whatever you want to call it, in different chakras. And it's usually kind of spread out. Typically, this is at least what my mentor told me. And like her specialty is like helping people get new chakras, right? And she's like, I've never seen someone have so many in one place. And it's the solar plexus, which is your self-confidence, your power. For me, solar plexus reminds me a lot of the sun and a lot of yellow, which is like a very joyful color for me. And so when she told me that, I was like, whoa, like that actually kind of makes sense. So again, like when I was reflecting on my year, I was going through all of the different things that I've learned this year. I had multiple clearings, healings. I have a new solar plexus. I have a lot of new DNA activations, especially the last few months. Honestly, my birthday, I got a huge gift of a clearing and healing with Alyssa Rushton, who was just like absolutely amazing. So I'm telling you all this because these are the different things that you might not have tried yet that are like the thing that's going to help you. And these are things that I share when you work with me. I have had a lot of conversations with business coaches and friends and colleagues and God. And whenever I'm in doubt, like I reread my human design, I reread my gene keys to remind me how uniquely built I am. And I'm really meant to learn a lot of hard things, a lot of harsh lessons, and share them with the people who are ready to hear them and are meant to hear them. And so, when I say in my emails or on social media that like, if you're here, this is for a reason, like that really is like my truth coming out for you because like I said, there's these little cards. I'm going to pull another one. And like people's minds are blown. And I'm like, this is just like a fun game. Like, of course I know what I would want to invent if I had an invention. Of course I know what I would do with $1 billion. This is a fun one. What is your favorite thing to do with others? So this is important too, because these are like basically Oreo cards. I'm like totally taking back what I said. Like these are amazing. What is your favorite thing to do with others? So whatever your answer, it's probably related to your soul purpose. And again, if you knew that your success was guaranteed, you knew that money had nothing to do with this happening, any outside circumstances had nothing to do with this happening for you, what are you going to do about it today so that you can be open to receiving? You know that your body is ready to receive and take that one beautiful step, that one little breadcrumb that you're getting, knowing that in full trust that the next one is going to come in soon after that. And then soon after that. Do you see what I'm saying? So again, like with people who you follow who talk about, like living an intuitively led life, maybe they have a little bit of a routine in their morning, but other than that, they're just kind of like moving through their day. You can imagine the type of person that's going to do that, right? Like they have to be in full trust. And that's what I want for myself. And if you're here, there might be some part of you that's like, yeah, that would be so fun, right? Like I knew today I wanted to record something. I was actually going to do a podcast because I kind of liked my hair like this, even though it's like not like my normal vibe. And I was just like, no, that doesn't really fit. And I just kept having these same concepts coming over and over from these cards, and just how little things really change everything. And especially, being a channel, right? Like being a teacher, being a coach, like asking people questions is my job. Like, it's literally my job to ask you questions, to challenge yourself and to expand your mind. But it's also your responsibility to ask me questions and receive guidance that either you're hearing it again, but it's going to land, or, you know, maybe you're hearing something for the first time. And just because you hear the same message, it doesn't mean that you need to implement it the same way as somebody else, because they have a different build from you, right? Like, there's a reason why I'm so obsessed with human design and Gene Keys and, you know, knowing your astrology, because there's so many different things, right, that you were meant to do that somebody else with a similar mission and a similar plan, like a life plan, business plan, whatever plan you're talking about, plan for how they're raising their children. You might know someone who has a similar plan, but the way that you're going to implement it is very, very different. And at the end of the day, like, you just need to do what you want to do. And whenever you feel pushed or, you know, brought out of your comfort zone about something, making sure that you understand that it's you being invited by spirit to grow, to change. Change is always an upgrade. And then you are growing and you're becoming a better version of yourself, versus you doing something out of fear because you feel like, oh, well, if I don't do it this way, if I don't do my email campaign this way, or I don't, you know, post on my YouTube every week at this particular time, I'm never going to get anywhere. That's a negative program. And there are some people that it works for because it's meant to uniquely work for them and their business because of things like their human design and their Gene Keys and their astrology. And so I just wanted to share that too, because I'm fortunate that I didn't go down a road of decent / okay / bad business coaches. The only people I've worked with, like, this is what they taught me. And to me, it's like, okay, this makes sense, right? Like, and again, when you're fully trusting your intuition, you are going to learn the things that you're meant to learn. And it's probably going to be different than what you're seeing or hearing in other spaces. And there's a reason for that. And so I also just want to kind of give you, you know, it's really giving permission, right? Like, giving you permission to do things the way that you want to do them, if it feels right for you, and understanding that that's exactly what you're meant to do. And if you're stuck, you can just close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, tune into your body, and you say, truthfully, God, is this the thing? Is this the best decision for my highest and best? And just listen to your guidance. And that's why I'm so grateful that I have a new solar plexus. I think I got it in like April. Because in my human design, my solar plexus is where I make all of my decisions. And so even knowing about human design for many, many years, there was still this doubt, despite daily energy work, all these amazing upgrades, getting the best readings, people telling me the most magical things you could ever hear as a client, there was still something not right. And it was something very tangible, like my solar plexus just being just so traumatized and unhealable that I literally had to get a new one. And so I just wanted to share all of that with you. I hope that it lands. I hope it makes sense. Whatever really helped you, like, feel free to let me know. Whatever follow-up questions you have, let me know. And just in general, what you're needing, let me know. I know a few of you responded about the Voxer. I still have a couple spots. And just to let you know, I mean, I charge usually anywhere between, you know, 1,000 and 3,000 a month. And I've never, any coach that I like and has an 8-figure or more successful aligned business that is contributing to New Earth in incredible, beautiful, big ways, they don't even offer that, because there's literally no way that they could charge that. Like, if they were going to give someone unlimited access for a month to them, they would be charging at least like $20,000. And so there's a reason why I charge significantly less than that at this point, because I want to be the person that people can get this information from now, so that I can be of service. And then you can use that information and you can continue spreading this knowledge and this wisdom by raising your own vibration and by serving your community. Because if you're here, you're meant to be a leader, you're meant to be a teacher. And whatever that looks like and feels like to you. If that's on a stage, awesome. If that's with a lot of followers on Instagram, awesome. If it's not, and like you don't even have a website and you live in your little cabin, you still, I know so many people who have no website, no social media. They're never out of business. They never feel like they're not in service. They are doing their soul mission. They're doing God's work every single day. They are putting their head on their pillow at night and being like, wow, I am so grateful that I got to do that today. So do not allow them things that are perceived as limitations to stop you. And it's usually going to be you comparing somebody else. And it's usually going to be something related to the matrix programming that's telling you that that's not possible when it is possible. People wake up completely different people all the time. People overnight manifest millions of dollars overnight. I know so many people beyond, I can't even go into all the details of the stories, but like they literally start doing the work. They start doing the, undoing the faulty programming that's in their body and in their mind. And like literally their divine soul aligned partner shows up at their door. Like this, I've heard this story so many times, it's ridiculous. Like these things are possible. And to be honest, it's not like I know like a ton of people. Like I think, I probably have more friends and connections than some people, but the fact that I know this many miracle stories is for a reason, and you're meant to hear it, and to just know that like you are not just worthy of those miracles. If you're here on the planet Earth, you are worthy of literally anything that God would ever want to give you. You just have to be open to receiving it and holding it and spreading it responsibly. But like you're meant to, and you're meant to live every day expecting miracles. You're meant to live every day free from pain with all the tools and resources you could ever need for anything that's going to come your way, whether it's good, bad, or just like a normal experience. Like you are meant to embody this so that you can teach other people to do it, because that's how we're going to change the world. It's really just you being in your highest, most aligned place, uniquely you, and not allowing these stupid excuses to hold you back. So I love you. I hope you, again, are really resting and just remembering that like there's a reason the Matrix programmed us that like you have to work this amount of time to make this much money. It's totally barbaric. It's literally slavery. It's crazy. You resting is getting ready to receive bigger miracles. You resting is you resting for all of the past lives that you were not allowed to rest. Like you were literally worked to death. You resting is resting for all of your generations, all of your ancestors who couldn't rest. They literally, again, were worked into the ground. This is why rest is so important. This is why you hear people talking about rest as being so important. It's so much more than just like you resting from things that you've experienced in this life and you balancing your masculine feminine. It's so much more than that. It's literally when you're feeling tired and you take a nap and you just remind yourself, like, I'm literally healing my ancestors by taking this nap, because I am so powerful that I know that rest is absolutely necessary for me right now. And I'm going to follow that nudge. So that's just also there too for somebody that wanted to hear it. I love you. And like I said, I still have a few spots for the Voxer. It's less than $500 a month, and you can literally reach out to me anytime you want. It's literally insane, but this is what I've been led to offer right now. And I would love, love, love to work with anyone who is ready to take that step. And knowing that you're getting, I mean, between all of the programs I've done and the things, especially this year about the chakra replacements and DNA activations and like basically downloading an entirely new body blueprint. I mean, I've spent at least probably $200,000 that I don't have on this type of stuff. And like, I'm literally giving it to you for $500 a month, and you're hearing it from me in a one-on-one container. It's not just, a video that I'm recording and sharing with everyone who buys it. This is uniquely for you because I need you to be on this team with me. I need you to fight the dark with me. I'm going to need a lot of support when the big miracle comes in for me and I have to staff multiple locations of healing centers Like I need to have people I trust. I need to have people I know their body is ready to receive this. Their body is ready to really implement what you have been so graciously and you've been very diligent on doing this work of trusting your intuition. I'm never going to hire someone who is not 100% in tune their intuition. Are you going to have a bad day every once in a while? Yeah. But are you going to have me and other people supporting you with energy work and, trauma therapy and all these other things that you might need? 100%. Like I need to have a tribe of people who are ready to receive this because I can't do it alone. And, I was the world's best employee for every job that I've had, from bagging groceries to scrubbing toilets to training doctors and therapists. Little old me with my bachelor's degree, training doctors and therapists and telling them how to treat their psychiatric patients confidently. I've been a really good employee. And you know what? I am my best employee because I'm living the example that I would want for the people who I'm going to need your support. I'm going to need you helping me with things. And you're going to make a lot of money doing it. And you're going to live in really beautiful places doing it. And your kids are going to receive the best education they could possibly ever receive. Yeah, that's my big dream. And I know that every day I wake up and like today could be the day that all these things fall into place. And I really need my tribe ready. I really need you ready. So that is why I'm charging significantly less for this container. And I'm open. Like I said, I have a couple spots left, but, the right person, like if we need to be I need to be helping more people, then I will, like 100%, 100%. I've been in a rest period and now I'm coming out to share. It's very much my 2-5 line in human design. So yeah, if you don't know your human design, you're not using that in your life and your business, like definitely get on that, please. But yeah, I need support. This is me asking for help and asking for support. And it's really you being able to receive miracles, integrate those miracles, and live this message of the new earth so that we can help the people that we're meant to help who are just now waking up, right? That's why I got on here in the first place, because these little questions that seem very normal. What is the best compliment you have ever received? Like, these are things that are blowing people's minds because they've never even thought about it. And I'm like, this is what I do with myself all day, every day, right? With my clients. This is probably one of my favorites though. What is the best compliment you've ever received? Honestly, just for me, like the best compliment is just that people feel safe with me and they feel like they can tell me things that they feel burdened by. It means more to me than people realize, because I know when I shared my deep, dark secrets with someone, it's actually one of my cat's therapists. She did a lot for me too. And it's so difficult to understand how liberating it is to release yourself of things that you're scared to say out loud, especially if you're in this personal development world, because you don't want to give it power. But I'll never forget the day where I said all of these things that I perceived as me being a really horrible, bad person that I did, hurting other people. It really changed everything. So for someone to compliment me, that they feel safe telling me anything, it means so much to me. It really, really does. And the thing about compliments that's actually really interesting is you being able to receive compliments by simply smiling and say thank you is actually practicing your balancing of divine feminine and divine masculine, versus receiving a compliment and then immediately feeling you have to give one back. Very hot tip. And then also, the more that your vibration gets higher, and especially the more you're physically changing because your vibration is getting higher, sometimes you actually get less compliments from people, because the people who are in your world are in this 1% with us. And we know that we don't have to thrive on the compliments. We're saying these kind, loving things to ourselves all the time. Spirit's reminding us, divine synchronicities are reminding us, we don't need the outside validation. So for someone like me, that's huge. I mean, I grew up doing pageants, being a straight A student, being a star athlete. I was literally expected to be literally perfect all the time, no matter what I was doing. And so the more, like, this year is probably the year that I've received the least compliments on my looks than ever in my entire life. And for me, that's such a big celebration because there's so much more to me than like a pretty face or a good hair day or whatever. Like, um, it's so important for us to compliment each other on other things, but it's also important for us to live in this space where I don't feel like I have to give compliments to people because I know that they're doing the work and that they truly know how amazing they are. And when I remind them of that through a compliment, it's just like, thank you so much. Like, it's not this deep feeling like, oh my God, I'm so grateful someone said something because I was feeling so lonely or so empty or so ugly or so whatever. So there's a reason why these cards came out. Like I said, they're not technically oracle cards, but I'm going to use them as such until further notice because they're super fun. And I'm sure you can get them on Amazon. They were a gift from my Reiki master who I did my Reiki training with, which is so sweet. But they're just like get to know you cards. And of course, there's ones for like family, friends, coworkers, whatever. And then of course, there's probably some really spicy ones for you and your beloved. I look forward to doing that one day. That'll be really fun. Anyway, okay, I'm really leaving. I love you. And please respond to this email boxer if you do want to take advantage of this offering. We start the moment I see the payment has been made. I will add you as a contact on Voxer. I will, send you a channeled message just to kind of set the tone for whatever spirit wants us to focus on for at least today. And then we'll be together until March 1st, which is really important because if you pay attention to the different calendars, like March is actually like really the new year, not January. And the energy of January, February in the collective is typically, it looks like everyone's like very motivated and wanting to do things, but deep down, it's actually like people not feeling good enough and not feeling like they have enough time to do the things that they really want to do, and helping people manage their time and feel like the most magical thing on earth all day, every day is like what I'm here to help you integrate. So just feel free to let me know. I love you. And obviously, if you want to share this video with anyone who would be appreciative, feel free to send them my way. I love you so much. And I hope that I get to see you soon.